Good evening. August the 9th, 2023, Greater Vancouver, from Greater Vancouver, British Columbia. My name is Michail Boncea. I am an independent news blogger. I mostly blog about news regarding Greater Vancouver and British Columbia, Canada, with some Canadian and international independent news. I broadcast daily, Monday to Friday. My full videos can be found on YouTube and Rumble under my tag Michail Boncea, Michail Boncea, MICHAIL Boncea. If you like the content I'm posting, please subscribe or click like, especially on YouTube. That way more people will be able to see the content and will encourage me to continue doing what I'm doing. I can also be contacted on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now. I'm assuming it's X. And same handle, Michail Boncea, MICHAIL Boncea. If you happen to run any kind of live event, could be art show, parade, a festival, a book show, you name it, etc. Or if you have a small company, same thing. It could be a restaurant, it could be an ethnic store, a bookstore, music, video games, and so on. Based in Greater Vancouver area, British Columbia. Please contact me if you want me to cover it, and I will cover it free of charge. If you have a product that you want me to check it out, contact me and I'll check the product. If I like it, I'll mention it. Over the weekend, when I have free time, I will, from time to time, not always, but from time to time, I will be broadcasting live from either a live event or a company. So basically a completely new show, specifically focusing on that event or that company, and again, free of charge. And if you have a product, let me know. You have nothing to lose. I say thank you to, I know the numbers are small, but I still have to say thank you to everyone who's following me on YouTube and on Facebook. Specifically, those two areas are where I am more active. Not me, people that are following me. I had over 350 views in one of my reels in Facebook yesterday. Well, I passed it. Again, small numbers, but for me, they're big. I only started doing this less than a month ago. And on YouTube, I have a number of my videos hit 200 or above. I think 3. it's a start. And I say thank you to all. Always remember, if you like the content, click subscribe, click like. That way YouTube, Facebook, and so on will allow other people to see the content I'm posting. Who am I? A bit about who I am. I am a former international sports photographer, and I covered for a few years National Hockey League, NHL, as well as Man Cup and Western Hockey League, WHL. I am a former official photographer for the Canadian Army for a few events. 3 years, actually longer, but let's just say 3 years, the official photographer for the Delta Islanders Junior A lacrosse team. And I also did many other events, including Arts Council of Newsminster, British Columbia. I can go on and on and on. People are asking, after years of silence, why are you coming back? It's a fair question. As it stands, I took a few years off due to personal reasons, and I'm gonna be now mostly blogger. I don't know in the future where it will go. I know that I'm planning with my friends, because I have lots of friends across the world, to have 2, 3, sometimes a week of my friends join my podcast blogger thing, and they showcase the events from their area. Now, let's move on to the news. Fraser Valley, British Columbia, Canada. The Chamber of Commerce is asking for the Highway 1, the main highway, Highway 1 is the main highway, but between Vancouver area to Chilliwack, all the way to Chilliwack, British Columbia, to be extended so that in case, which is true already, the population in Chilliwack is growing because people can't afford the rent or the mortgages anymore if you're working class in Vancouver. So you are going farther and farther out. I know some of my friends live all the way up to Hope, which is way past Chilliwack. They're saying we need extension of the highway. By that, what they're trying to say is at least one extra lane on both sides of the highway. This is sad. Nearly 100 Croatian fans that attended the game in Athens, well, in Greece, have now been charged gang related after the deadly violent issues they faced when a Greek fan supporter was murdered by the Croatian fans. Insanity. I again say, I understand. We all support our teams. I got my team. Everyone has their team. That's why we watch sports. But there is no reason to murder or almost murder somebody. I don't care what excuse you have. No, there's no excuse. Murder is murder. Trying to murder someone else because a few other people were almost murdered in the fight, it's equally as bad. The BYD Wang, and I hope I pronounced the name properly, Wang Chong Fu, it's BYD is the most famous Chinese owned, well, not owned. Owned would be a mistake. Mostly owned Chinese company manufacturing cars. The reason is Warren Buffett is the largest shareholder in the company. So you can basically call it American company, but at the moment, most of the production is in China. It is making more cars for the last, I think, 2 years. Even compared to Tesla, which is the most famous electric car in the world. BYD is stressing that it's time for Asian cars to become mainstream outside Asia, mostly China, and poorer areas in Africa and other, where basically the mainstream known North American or European brands can compete price-wise. They're planning to launch what they call a marquee car brand worldwide. We'll see what that means, but frankly, it just means they are expanding in markets that traditionally Chinese companies were not known. Now, people will say, well, how can they do that? They're already here. But they're not here under their brand names. Chinese and East Indian Yes, East Indian companies. I'm talking about car manufacturing companies from India, Asia, like Volvo, and so on. You buying those cars, they're not European owned. You're still paying a premium price because you're paying for the name. But behind those brands, you might actually be surprised, as an example, that the car you're buying is, yeah, it has the name of it because they bought the whole company, but it might be Geely from China that owns it, or Tata from India that owns that brand. This time they're talking about bringing their own brands across the world. So they're not doing something new. The only difference is they're saying, hey, instead of you paying money for Volvo, in my case, Greater Vancouver, why don't you just buy BYD? Example. Completely two different companies, but I was just trying to give an example. All right, moving on. Brookswood Park in Langley, British Columbia will get a 7.9 million upgrade. It will get an LED lighting on some of the baseball diamonds. Not all the baseball diamonds, but some of them will get it. I think it's a necessary upgrade. Langley is a very fast growing area, so I'm sure it's going to be put to good use. Now, on an event that, well, not event, on, I guess, event, concert, I'll call it a concert. The free concert in Abbotsford, British Columbia at Mill Park on August the 18th. It will include the Youth Orchestra of Abbotsford. This, I wish I was joking, but I'm not. I'm happy to hear that nobody got injured. That's the good news. The bad news is, I hope the pilot will, or the co-pilot, depending who was in charge of the plane at the time, will be investigated. I have nothing against either the pilot or the co-pilot. I don't know who they are. I wish them best of luck. But this should have never happened. WestJet plane flying out of the Comox Air Base. WestJet is the second largest airline in Canada. It was supposed to go towards Edmonton. It hit, supposedly by mistake. I don't know who made the mistake. Maybe the ground control, whoever did, as they were on the runway, as they were moving on the runway to start getting ready to fly, it hit the Canadian Army. And I wish I'm joking, like I said. I wish I'm joking, but I'm not. It hit a Canadian Army plane on the ground that was not moving. Yeah. It took place on August the 9th, around noon hour, and they had to retreat. Not retreat, but stop the flight, do investigation and everything. Whoever caused the mistake, it could be the pilot, it could be the co-pilot, it could be ground control. Whoever did it, they should be embarrassed. Sorry. How the heck do you hit with a plane that is already parked? Wasn't even moving. That plane wasn't moving. It was only that plane. One or two planes were moving. And they hit another plane. It doesn't matter if it's Canadian Army or if it's just commercial plane. It's still a parked plane. All right. And this is the last news. It was a slow news day. Starting September the 5th, it will be closing the air. Oh no, actually, one more news. Starting September the 5th, will close. It will include the trail and step repairs as well as trailhead amenities like fountain and stretching area. WeWork one, this is the last news, was worth almost 47 billions. 47 billions. That was last year, so not too long ago. Now the shares are worth, I don't know. They're saying the shares are worth less. So I'm assuming from 47 billion American to, I don't know, a few hundred million maybe. Keep in mind there's so many shares. These large companies have hundreds and hundreds of millions of shares that they have on the stock market. And it's getting so bad that they actually are now, the executive of the company is the executive, not just the CEO, chairman, but the entire executive of the company are now warning that it could be the company going into a bankruptcy. If you're a shareholder, I'm not. Any company I mention here, I will never own any shares. That way I am unbiased. But if you are owning any shares in WeWork, will be a lot better financially wise if they will go for bankruptcy protection instead of bankruptcy. Two different areas, but hopefully if they go with bankruptcy protection, you will still have something. If they go bankrupt, unsecured creditors as usual will get nothing. That's how it goes. Have a wonderful night, evening, morning, afternoon, depending what part of the world you are watching this, and see you tomorrow.